Our tale starts in an ordinary school cafeteria where everything appears perfectly fine. Students sit around enjoying their meals, chatting, and laughing like any other afternoon. Out of nowhere, a young girl completely freezes. Her eyes suddenly illuminate with an intense blue glow, and her body shakes uncontrollably as if she is suffering a massive seizure. In mere moments, she crashes to the floor. Teachers sprint over to help, but it is already too late. She has passed away. Nobody has a clue what just took place. Following deep research, experts uncover a horrific reality. An unknown disease is sweeping the globe, and it exclusively infects kids. Physicians everywhere attempt to stop it, yet nothing succeeds. Gradually, the crisis becomes an absolute nightmare when almost 90% of all children on Earth perish from the illness. Even the brightest minds are helpless. The American president speaks on television, admitting his own boy caught the sickness. Despite this, he vows society will discover a cure. To manage the growing panic, a specialized agency known as the CCD is formed. The plot now moves to a little girl called Ruby. At her home, her relatives are throwing a small birthday party. Her mom and dad grin, hand over presents, and act as though everything is perfect. Yet deep down, they are absolutely horrified because Ruby caught the sickness too. Later that evening, Ruby struggles to rest. Feeling anxious and awake, she silently sneaks over to her mom and grasps her hand. Instantly, Ruby's eyes radiate a bright orange glow. Freaking out, Ruby lets go and sprints back to her bed. The following day, things appear ordinary to Ruby. Yet the moment her mom spots her, she freezes in disbelief and demands, "Who are you?" Her mom and dad have zero memory of her. Ruby frantically insists she is their child and even presents her new birthday present, but her mom assumes Ruby is a diseased kid who broke in. Driven by panic, her parents surrender her to the authorities. Weeping and shouting, Ruby is dragged away and shoved onto a transport vehicle. Inside, dozens of other terrified kids sit waiting. An armed officer watches them closely, treating the youth not like victims, but as highly dangerous felons. The transport eventually stops at a heavily secured compound. As the kids form lines to head indoors, one boy asks a few too many questions. The officers react harshly, assaulting him without a shred of pity. Observing this cruelty, Ruby grasps one terrifying fact. This camp isn't built to rescue them. It exists solely to contain them. Afterward, every kid undergoes strict medical screening. The physicians note that the illness triggered a genetic change deep inside their bodies. Their core DNA mutated, and because of this, the children gained incredible superhuman powers. Researchers then separate the kids into distinct classes relying completely on eye color. Green-eyed kids rank as the safest and most highly intelligent. Blue-eyed youths can shift items without physical contact using powerful telekinesis. Gold-eyed children possess the ability to manipulate and generate electricity. These three groups remain classified as harmless, but two incredibly rare and frightening classes exist: red and orange. These kids rank as lethal threats, carrying strict military orders for immediate execution on sight. During Ruby's evaluation, the physician finds something alarming. Ruby falls right into the orange class. Immediately, the computer monitor displays one dreadful command: terminate. Without emotion, the doctor preps a lethal dose designed to end her life. Ruby realizes something is horribly wrong and attempts to flee, but the physician grabs her tight. In pure panic, Ruby touches his hand and insists she isn't orange, but green. At that exact second, her eyes shine bright orange, and the doctor's face immediately goes totally blank. Without uttering a single word, he alters her system file from orange to green. This moment reveals Ruby's true and frightening power. She has the ability to control people's minds. Following the testing, all the children are issued color-coded uniforms that match their assigned categories: green, blue, and gold. As Ruby glances around, she notices something truly chilling. There are no red or orange uniforms anywhere in sight. That is when she understands the grim reality. Children with powers like hers were likely executed a long time ago. Time moves forward, and 6 grueling years pass by inside the camp. Gradually, Ruby begins to feel increasingly isolated. Complex tasks that the highly intelligent green kids breeze through often feel very difficult for her. She intentionally pretends to be weak and slow, doing her best to remain invisible. A bit later, while she is walking back to her living quarters with her designated group, a high-frequency noise suddenly blares through the loudspeakers. Only the mutated children can actually hear the piercing sound. Within seconds, Ruby collapses to the ground and blacks out. When she finally wakes up, she discovers she is lying inside a medical infirmary. A female physician is sitting quietly right in front of her. Moments later, an armed guard steps into the room and informs the doctor that her time is up and she must leave immediately. Acting quickly, the doctor scribbles a message on a piece of paper and hurries away. The hidden note reveals that the camp has discovered the truth about Ruby's identity. It states that if she wants to stay alive, she needs to meet the doctor down in the boiler room. Keeping this a secret from everyone, Ruby sneaks out and heads to the meeting spot. Inside the boiler room, that same doctor helps hide Ruby and silently escorts her toward a getaway car. Just as they are about to drive out of the base, a guard stops them. In that split second, Ruby taps into her power and takes control of the guard's mind, forcing him to manually open the heavy gates. After enduring years of imprisonment, Ruby finally steps foot outside the camp. Looking at the open world once again fills her with happiness and relief. The doctor clarifies that the majority of adults in the world are now gone, and many cities have become entirely abandoned. Ruby says she wants to reunite with her parents, but the doctor warns her that returning home could be extremely dangerous. Before they part ways, the doctor hands Ruby a GPS tracking necklace so her location can be pinpointed if she is ever in trouble. Shortly after, the doctor links up with one of her allies. But the second Ruby shakes his hand, she suddenly feels pure terror. The moment their skin makes contact, Ruby is hit with a highly disturbing vision. Later on, when Ruby steps inside a building to change her clothes, she bumps into a young girl. The moment this girl spots Ruby, she panics completely, firing off an electrical attack before sprinting away to hide inside a van. Despite the attack, Ruby chases after her and begs for help. Hearing the genuine honesty in Ruby's voice, the gold-eyed child finally pushes open the van's doors and lets Ruby hide inside. Sitting in the back, Ruby is introduced to Liam, a blue, along with his friend, his buddy. Ruby tricks them, claiming she is a green, but warns that armed men are hunting her. Hearing her plea, both teens agree to aid her. Meanwhile, a tactical squad relentlessly tracks them. Simultaneously, the doctor frantically searches for Ruby. At the ideal second, Liam activates his blue powers to crush the chasing cars. Thanks to his skills, the crew finally manages to get away. After traveling for a bit, the crew parks at a deserted spot. Liam's buddy interrogates Ruby, asking why she fled in terror since greens are deemed totally harmless. Aware of the reality, yet scared to confess, Ruby remains quiet. Annoyed, she snaps back, stating if they refuse to assist her, she will depart alone. Liam swiftly calms her and clarifies. They are traveling to a unique location, a secret base run by an orange-eyed teen who keeps kids like them protected. He informs Ruby she is welcome to tag along. Hearing this, Ruby instantly agrees to go. While driving, Ruby questions Liam about why they fled their camp. Liam shares the grim reality. The kids were utilized for highly lethal experiments. The military intended to morph them into a dominant army to battle their foes. That is exactly why they escaped. Meanwhile, the physician who originally labeled Ruby as green gets caught. Following a brief questioning, she is ruthlessly murdered. That very night, while the crew sleeps, Ruby's fingers accidentally brush Liam's hand. In that moment, Ruby views all of Liam's past memories. She observes him struggling to rescue peers during his camp breakout, ultimately failing to save several of them. The heavy remorse and sorrow buried in Liam's soul become entirely clear to her. The following morning, the gold-eyed kid hands Ruby a crimson dress. Putting it on, Ruby appears bold and gorgeous. Shortly after, the crew boards the truck and resumes their journey toward their destination. Sometime later, they park at a ruined plaza for provisions. Out of nowhere, another teenage gang strikes. Right before the intense situation spirals completely into absolute chaos, the gold-eyed teen activates her electricity, freezing everyone. Quickly, it becomes entirely clear these attackers are identical to them, holding unique powers. That evening, all the runaway teens gather around, openly swapping past histories. For the very first time, they feel understood. Amid the chat, Liam inquires about the exact coordinates for the Orange Boys' secret sanctuary, praying they arrive there quickly. However, the scavenger teens warn the destination remains highly classified and practically impossible to track. Silently, without drawing attention, Ruby utilizes her ability to hack a boy's brain, extracting the camp's location buried inside a complex encrypted signal. Ruby and Liam's smart buddy collaborate to decipher the hidden transmission. Following significant effort, they successfully solve the puzzle, and the entire group feels relieved. At that exact moment, the other teens discover the reality. Ruby isn't a harmless green, she is orange. Ruby feels utterly terrified, assuming her companions will dread her, yet Liam gently comforts her, insisting she has zero reasons to panic. That is when Ruby confesses everything. She cannot completely manage her abilities. If she unintentionally unleashes them on somebody, it might cost that individual their life. The crew moves ahead, but abruptly they are ambushed by teens dressed in tactical military gear. One soldier immediately spots Liam. During the highly stressful standoff, Liam clarifies they are simply seeking a secure home for themselves. Hearing their peaceful intentions, the squad agrees to escort them directly to the discussed orange teen. When they pull up, the secret drops. The orange teen is literally the president's boy. He happily greets Ruby and her crew, finally confessing the dark reality to them. The president totally lied to society. He never received healing. Instead, he endured constant, grueling scientific trials. When everything completely failed, the military started locking mutated youth inside various brutal facilities. The Orange Teen guarantees Ruby he will train her to utilize her intense abilities correctly. Gradually, Ruby begins comprehending her unique powers and learns restraint. One afternoon, when Ruby feels mentally shattered, the Orange Teen approaches her, claiming only a fellow Orange can actually comprehend another Orange's struggles. While he grips Ruby's hand, Liam steps inside and spots them together. He obviously dislikes what he is witnessing. At that exact moment, the Orange Teen starts viewing Ruby's past. He uncovers a terrifying reality. The evening Ruby grabbed her parents' hands, she unintentionally wiped their entire memories away. That is exactly why her mom forgot her. The Orange Teen is stunned. Not even he holds telepathy on that scale. Intrigued, he strongly wishes to acquire this psychic skill. Yet Ruby herself has absolutely no clue how it operates. Later on, Ruby heads outdoors, bumping into Liam. He is furious and blames her for keeping dark secrets. Ruby attempts to clarify, insisting he is misinterpreting the situation. She finally confesses the actual reason she hides. She fears if she drops her guard, she could accidentally do to Liam what she unknowingly did to her parents. Ruby walks down to the water, encountering Liam's observant buddy. He softly warns her the sanctuary no longer feels secure anymore. Simultaneously, the Orange Teen sits indoors secretly chatting with someone else via a secure laptop. He is actively relaying the exact numbers of green, blue, and orange teens inside. Right then, Ruby enters. The second he spots her presence, he swiftly shuts it. In truth, Ruby walked in solely to borrow the device so Liam's buddy could message relatives. Spotting a perfect opening, the Orange Teen attempts to strike a sinister bargain. He promises her that if she successfully learns the memory wiping skill, he will gladly hand over the computer. Having zero other options, Ruby consents. Yet as she shuts her eyes and attempts to concentrate on transferring the skill, she abruptly opens them, noticing the Orange Teen is maliciously trying to manipulate her own mind. Freaking out, Ruby strikes him forcefully in the jaw and flees outside. Outdoors, she sprints directly into Liam. After learning the dark truth, Liam becomes enraged and strongly desires to attack the Orange Teen. Ruby miraculously holds him back, understanding the base is compromised and they must all evacuate immediately. That exact evening, while the crew packs to escape, the facility's commander arrives, and standing directly beside him is the Orange Teen. In that devastating second, the awful reality is exposed. The Orange Teen remained faithful to his dad the entire time. His actual main goal was collecting superpowered kids endlessly to mold them into an unstoppable military force. Without pausing, the Orange Teen hacks Liam's brain and ruthlessly forces him down. Observing this, Ruby finally drops all her terror. She activates her ability, hacks the general's brain, and quickly ends his life. Simultaneously, the brave gold-eyed kid discharges her lightning, striking the rest of the armed troops. As total mayhem breaks out, Ruby commands her three pals to flee. She decides to remain behind, standing completely alone, directly confronting the traitor. Ruby hacks the minds of the entire military squad, commanding the troops to point their weapons at the teen. For a brief second, she appears to have secured victory. But abruptly, the Orange Teen fights back. Utilizing his frightening abilities, he takes back control over the troops and forces the men to start shooting. Despite Ruby's frantic efforts, the Orange Teen actually manages to hack her brain. He warns Ruby he will delete every painful memory she has, and together they shall conquer the planet. She locks onto a chopper hovering above them and utilizes her telekinesis to crash it right onto the Orange Teen, neutralizing him. Just when Ruby assumes it is finished, a second chopper begins firing at her. At the final second, Liam's buddy dives in and rescues her, yet he suffers severe wounds. Ruby freaks out, unsure how to save him. Suddenly she recalls the tracking necklace the physician handed her. She turns it on, and within moments, the physician lands with a tactical squad and evacuates everyone. After a while, Ruby awakens and discovers she is resting on a cot. The physician sits next to her, explaining her wounded buddy rests in the clinic and will heal shortly, yet Liam demands to evacuate right away. He utterly declines to leave without Ruby's presence. The physician then exposes their actual goal. They intend to arrest the president and broadcast the grim reality to the entire globe. To achieve that goal, they desperately require Ruby's abilities. Ruby understands the massive risks ahead. She completely refuses to let Liam suffer because of her choices. With tears streaming down her face, she steps toward him and utilizes her ability one final time, completely deleting every memory Liam holds. She hands over his backpack and softly tells him to head home. Confused yet feeling weirdly content, Liam nods and departs, watching the girl he loves walk away. Ruby quietly breaks down in tears, understanding this agonizing choice was the absolute only protective method. In the closing shots, we observe the president's boy is actually still breathing, standing before his brainwashed troops, actively gearing up for combat. On the opposing front, Ruby stands fully prepared to confront him and battle for the survival of every superpowered kid. And with that final scene, our amazing story concludes. So, what were your thoughts regarding this film? Drop your opinions in the comment section. Also, if you loved this summary, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more incredible movie recaps. Catch you in the next upload.